How's it going, bikers? In this video we're going to be going over 5 bike hacks that you can use for BMX, mountain biking, and maybe even road biking. So if you find any of these hacks useful or entertaining at least, please leave a like, maybe even a comment, and please consider subscribing. Alright, so for this first hack you're going to need a pedal wrench, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a crank protector out of an old tube. So you're going to need a pedal wrench and an old tube and something to cut the old tube with. So the first step is to take off your pedals so you can access the end of your cranks. And the next step is to cut your tube and make it, and you can try measuring it on your crank so you can get a good measurement. So we're probably going to want it about right here. So, and you got to make sure you make a hole too so it doesn't cover up your crank, or I mean your pedal hole. So we'll cut it about right here. There we go. And then what you do next is you just slide it on there. And then what you can do is just take your scissors, or you can use a knife, and then just poke a hole for your pedal hole. And after you've made the hole big enough that you can put a pedal back in, just reinsert your pedal. Or other way. You might need your pedal wrench to get it back on and tighten it. And you're all good. If you're ever working on your bike and you don't want to lose your tools and you don't have a workbench, doing on-the-fly repairs, you can just hang your tools right on your brake levers, keep them safe, and you always know where they are. This next one is for people that like to use their GoPro with their chest mount while they're mountain biking, BMX biking, or maybe even road biking. It would seem conventional to put your GoPro upright, but this can often result in really bad top tube footage. And unless you're reviewing the paint job on your bike, there's really no reason to have your GoPro like this. If you want better footage, what you should do is you should flip your GoPro around and mount it upside down. Most GoPros should have the auto rotate feature on the app, but you should definitely make sure that your GoPro is auto-rotated on the live feed to make sure that you don't record an entire ride upside down. This can make it so you can mount your camera angle upward more, because when you're on your bike, you're leaning forward, and having your camera being able to angle upward will make your footage a lot better. The result of flipping your camera upside down can make your videos much more immersive and enjoyable for you and for other people to watch, as you can see from this clip from Cuyuna. This one's mainly for BMXers. If your bars turn like this kid, then...
Oh, what are you talking about? My bars don't turn.
Oh, bar turn number 4!
Except for a little bit sometimes.
Then here's an easy fix. All you're going to need is whatever Allen key you need to take off your handlebars.
What's the most common? Is it a 5?
5 and 6. Mine's a 6.
Okay.
And all you need to do is get the Allen key to take off your handlebars and some sandpaper, because the most common culprit with turning bars is fresh paint, especially if you have a brand new BMX bike. The fresh paint can slide, make it really slippery, and make it easy to turn no matter how tight you make it. And the thing is, you don't want to tighten your bolts as hard as you can, because that can strip them, and then that's not helping anyone.
Yeah, you don't want to round your bolts out.
Yeah, then that's kind of hard to fix. Let's see here. There you go. Just leave your bars dangling there.
There you go.
Alright, so as you can see here, there's actually a lot of fresh paint. You can see it on my finger. This is what makes your bars slip. So what you're going to do, just get some sandpaper and maybe a rag too, and just sand down the surfaces that have paint on them. But I recommend using fine sandpaper so you don't sand down the grooves.
Yeah, you just want to get the actual paint off on the surface.
Yeah, so maybe after this you can get a rag and clean it off. And this will get some of your fresh paint off. You can see, let's see how much we got off. Yeah, I see how black my hands are. That's all the paint.
Yeah, if you're trying to do it, this is just a demonstration, but if you're actually doing it, it's going to take a lot longer. Probably going to have to
yeah, you might have to do it a few times, actually.
Probably have to, yeah, it'll take a while to get that paint off. It's going to be quite the...
Yeah, and then just reapply your bars. And then just reapply your bars, and the best way to tighten them, in my opinion, is top to bottom or crisscross, which means don't just tighten all the bolts really hard at the same time.
Also, on your bars, you see how there's like a gap right here, and down here you want the gap to be about the same.
Yeah, otherwise it'll make your bars turn even more, because it'll make it loose.
It's basically like these little gaps right here and here. If they're uneven, that's what's gonna make your bars turn. So just make sure like the top and the bottom are pretty much the same.
Make sure all of these grooves are actually inside the stem, because that's what gives you a lot of grip. And I like my bars a little forward from the fork, just because I'm a bigger rider.
Yeah. Also, yeah, like extra tip is when you're lining your bars up, you kind of want them lined with the fork. So if you follow the fork up, your bar should line up right with it.
Yeah, so see what I'm doing.
But sometimes tall riders like Peter like their bars a little out forward because it's a comfortable position for them.
Right.
And then shorter riders like me, I usually kind of ride them a little tilted.
This bottom gap's a little bigger than the top one, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen the top screws a little more to make the gap on the top bigger, and then I'm going to tighten the ones on the bottom to make the gap down there smaller. And that should make my bars move 0, even though my bars already don't move. This is a tip for Andrew.
Yeah, unfortunately I didn't ride my bike over here, my
and
BMX.
Most bars tighten to about 5 to 8 Newton meters, and if you have a torque wrench, I recommend definitely using your torque wrench, but 99% of the people watching this probably don't have a torque wrench and they're expensive, so just tighten your bars tight but not super tight so you don't strip them.
Basically not where you're actually going into the metal and start seeing metal shavings falling out of your bike.
And I recommend using quality Allen keys. These are Park Tool, because if you use a bad Allen key, that'll make it easier to strip.
As you can see, it's lined up. The front and top gap are lined up, and the bar should not move anymore.
Do you have a problem with people stealing your bike, but you just don't want to buy a bike lock? Well, I have the solution for you. All you have to do is just lock out your front and rear barrel adjuster by turning it counterclockwise to the absolute max setting. This will seize your rear tire, thus deterring theft. Now let's see what happens when someone tries to steal this man's bike using this awesome bike hack you just learned.
Another free back is good steal.
Hey!
Oh, frick. It's not going anywhere. So guys, this is a wrap on 5 bike hacks you can use. If you found any of the bike hacks useful, just leave them down in the comments below, or if you have any new ones, say it in the comments below. Also, you can give a big like on the video. There you go. 5 bike hacks. Hey man, that's why I don't steal it back. I'll never do it again. You never know what could happen. Like that, I got tackled. Now my arm's broken. I'm gonna go to the hospital now.